Oh, welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today, we got ourselves a banger daily market news analysis. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Let me know down in the comments down below. Make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting the share so other people can spam that like button. Let's get this party started, y'all. As of the time of recording, Bitcoin currently sitting at $66,900. Okay, and we'll start with the 5-hour chart because we've been talking a lot about how this is pretty much playing exactly how it played over here. Now, I messed with this a little bit on accident during yesterday's live stream, but this is pretty much exactly what's happening here. In my opinion, we can see the 5-hour is starting to cool on the bearish momentum. So we got a rejection. We flipped bearish over here. We've came down and we're starting to kind of hold this range here. Now, what would invalidate this would be a lower low. So what we don't want to see is taking out 63K. That would be an invalidation of what I think is happening here. And if we were to do that, I think that we would probably, that would be the scenario where I say, you know, it's 65% chance that Bitcoin doesn't sweep the lows. That would be the, 35% chance or whatever. He's underwater. Mike sounds weird. Okay. Is that better? It does sound underwater. Is that better? No. Okay. All right. I might need a new cord here. I was just thinking. God damn. All right, can you hear me? Is that better? If not, I might have to go get a new cord. Not good. Was better disconnected. Worse. Okay. Give me 1 sec. TikTok says they're good, or YouTube. 80K on the table. 80K is on the table. All right. Hopefully that sounds better. Is that better? Testing? Sounds good. Better. Better-ish. Better. Okay. Oh yeah, better. Testing. Oh yeah, better. Okay. All right, that should be good. All right. Back to it. It's probably the cord. What's my max bear target for Bitcoin? 55K. And okay, so let's get back to what I was saying here. This is what I think that we're doing. Invalidation of this would be a lower low. We take out 63K. We're probably going to sweep the lows to 58K. But we can see on the 5-hour chart, the bearish momentum is cooling here. I feel like fear is higher, even though it's the same. It feels like people are more distraught today than yesterday. This is a higher low right now. And not only is it a higher low, but this is pretty much what we thought would happen, would be a rejection off of the 5-hour and then back testing this as support. This is holding up pretty good right now. So what we want to see is in the next couple of days, we want to see it start to bounce up and probably get rejected again here at 71.72. It'll probably be a lower low. We'll probably hang out around the 200 before this starts to really flatten itself out. Now, it's more flat than it was over here. We can see that that's happening here. We can see that the 5-hour is starting to lose bearish momentum. We've had 3 confirmed in a row here. 1, 2, 3 confirmed in a row. We're working on the 4th one of losing momentum in the bearish way before this flips back bullish. Now, on the 3-day as well, we have flipped bullish, We've already flipped bullish on the 3-day chart. And then on the 5-day, we are also losing that bearish momentum after being extremely oversold. In fact, the most oversold that we have been since 2018. So it's been a minute since we've been this oversold on the 5-day chart. Now on the weekly, Tomorrow should be the weekly close. Yes, that's right. Tomorrow should be the weekly close. It's perfectly well and good to test the 200. We have violently bounced off of this. We're starting to lose bearish momentum on the weekly as well. We can see that the volume is showing up. But relatively, this Bitcoin is still pretty much doing exactly what we thought it would do. Invalidation of my thesis would be a lower low. You can even see right here, we had this at 65. When we look at the liquidity here for Bitcoin, we have cleared most of this. We've kind of stepped down a little bit. We've cleared most of this already. There's a little bit sitting there at 66.5, and there's a little tiny cluster to maybe like 65.6, but not really a lot, especially when you compare to the upside. Look at all this liquidity, this beautiful, beautiful liquidity, all the way from 68K all the way up to 71.72. There's just a ton of liquidity to the upside. Just a crazy amount to the upside. We pretty much have gotten all of it to the downside. So that to me is what's in store for us. The 48-hour, the 3-day, you can see it's clustered up there at 66.5. There's a little bit there. We might sweep into 66 maybe, but most of this is definitely to the upside. It's definitely to the upside right now. So we're pretty much doing what we thought it would do as of right now. A rejection off of the 200 back test, higher low. We want to see that higher low continue to hold. We don't want to see 63K being taken out. That would invalidate this. That would probably mean where we would get some sort of sweep if 63 got taken out. But nevertheless, I still think, 90% chance I think that Ethereum is bottomed. I think there's about a 65% chance that Bitcoin never goes lower. I'm much more open-minded to us sweeping the lows on Bitcoin, but we're in that zone where it just doesn't matter to me. I'm still DCAing 3% daily, and I'm going to continue to do that. The reason that I'm open-minded, though, to us actually sweeping is because, again, FTX went to 0 here. We swept the lows. There was no event that took place on the 21st of November, but we did go lower than the FTX. Again, this was the event. Again, I want to preface this. This was the event. This was the volume. No event took place here. The volume was lower, but we swept the lows. So I'm more open-minded to something like that happening with Bitcoin than I am Ethereum, but I am pretty confident that Ethereum has already bottomed. I feel very strongly about that. So, and there's even less liquidity down for Ethereum than there is Bitcoin. One of the reasons, too, is when you compare how this played out in 2022 when you look at from the top to the bottom here, on the top, we're going to do Bitcoin during the 2022 bear market. On the bottom, we're going to do Ethereum. And, a lot of people have this idea, this notion that, Bitcoin bottoms and then it's the altcoins. If Bitcoin makes a plunge down, the altcoins are going to get crushed. That didn't happen in 2022. It happened for all of this. Yes. But once we had got here, it did not happen. And the way that Bitcoin dominance looks, for instance, Ethereum bottoms in June of 2022. From that wick low, Bitcoin actually goes another 18% lower. Okay, 13%, excuse me. From the wick low of June, Ethereum is 23% higher. From the Luna collapse to the FTX collapse, Ethereum is actually 23% higher. And I know that Alex made a video about this today, but, I was the one that brought it to its attention. So, but same thing I think is going on right now. Like, you could definitely make the case that this was our Luna, the April tariffs, and this perhaps is our FTX. Bitcoin goes significantly lower, about the same exact percentage here. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. So Bitcoin goes significantly lower over here from the April crash to where we're at right now. And I believe it's about the same percentage as well. Yep, 18%. Let me see exactly what it was. Let me zoom in on this because I think this was 18% as well from wick to wick. Let me see. From the Luna wick till 13%. But if you look at the body, it's 18%. So that's where I'm getting that from. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So it's about the same percentage. And then when you look at Ethereum, so you have a downtrend here with Bitcoin, just like in 2022. But Ethereum is on an uptrend. In fact, Ethereum's been on an uptrend since 2022. And from the April low to where we're at right now, Ethereum is significantly higher. We're talking 23% higher, just like it was in 2022. So that to me is a big deal. This is one of the reasons I am so confident that Ethereum has already bottomed. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be off to Neverland, but this looks pretty strong to me. This is just a rejection off of the 100. Back tests continue to make higher lows. We'll probably get rejected multiple times off of the 100 here before we can actually clear it. A lot of times it takes a while. When you look on the 5-hour chart, to me, it's doing the exact same thing as Bitcoin. Rejection off of the 200, back to the 100, back to this whole level of support where we've been trading at this entire time here. So is it possible that Ethereum sweeps the lows? Sure. I think it's way less likely. I think 1741 was it for Ethereum. Are you trading tomorrow? I might put out some trades tomorrow. Normally I trade Monday through Friday. That's my normal schedule, is I trade Monday through Friday. Brother, I give you a hint. The private institutions have already made the script of the news. Yeah, I agree. They've already bought. Institutions have been buying. So I agree. We agree. I agree. We agree. Yep. Still the same. Perfect. Better. Not having big swings on weekends is a good thing. 100%. I don't want crazy action on the weekends. Is 60K on the table? 60K is on the table, sure. I think that, more likely like 65K. But, sure. I'm more open-minded to Bitcoin sweeping. I have limit orders, meaning like a limit order, if you don't know, essentially means like it will automatically buy at this price. So I'm DCAing every single day. So I'm buying Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP and Solnic and DIS and Flux. I'm buying all of them every single day. and Link and VeChain. In addition to that, if we do get a sweep, I have limit orders for Bitcoin at 58K and 62K. What is the minimum weekly close on Bitcoin you would like to see to remain bullish? 58K. Thank you for the $2 donation. Do you think VeChain will get to 10 cents in 2026? Very possible.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
The catalyst for the big rally be end of war, which isn't actually a war. 100%. It's a fake war. It's just posturing. It seems like it's wrapping up. I pray that it does. You won't find a more anti-war person than me, and I don't care who's in charge. Like, you will find that I am very consistent, whether it's a Democrat who wants to do war or whether it's a Republican who wants to do war. Because guess what? The war machine keeps turning. It doesn't matter. You're not going to find a more anti-war person than me because I've been there and I've done that. Okay? And I know it's evil. And I know it's all for money. And I know it's like a scam and real people get hurt. Just because people want to make money, and it's disgusting and gross. But yes, I 100% agree. It's not a real war. It's just posturing so that they can focus on China and that Iran's not a player anymore. And clearly they're not a player anymore. Yeah. Compare charts with 2022. I just did. I can't see the chart. So you're sending Bitcoin to 75K. I think Bitcoin's going up. The oil wants some freedom. Yeah. Next week. Thank you for the galaxy, Gav's dad, you savage.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Next week, we either crash or we crash really hard. So 0 chance we go up next week. None. 0 chance. Is that what you're telling me? Thank you for the $20 donation, brother, you savage.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
What does the Clarity Act mean? If it gets passed, will cryptocurrency pump? Lemon chatter borrowing his hand while spreading hearts with his own. Yeah. Yeah, so like I talk about this a lot in my live streams when I'm live trading. This is just true, okay? People do not give a shit about anything else. They want price go up technology. That's it. They want price go up technology. Perfect example. Solana, last bear market, the main net went down 5 separate times. All was forgiven at $300. Nobody cared at all at $300. Now, why do I say that? Because when the Clarity Act gets passed and when Bitcoin reclaims 85K, 90K, 100K, no one will give a shit about anything that just happened. How quickly people will forget because people want price go up technology. And that is just the fact of the matter. People want price go up technology and they want a rhyme and a reason. Why is it up, Ski? It's up because the institutions are buying. Because they fudded you out of your bags. They scared you out of your bags to the point where you sold. They bought lower. And then they're going to make you FOMO in at the top. That's why. That's the game. Any hype around the X money? I'm not tracking. Are you talking about Twitter getting monetized? Is that what you're saying? When you see ETH at 10K, it will happen quicker than you think. Sell, bro. I'm buying. I am buying 3% daily, period, until April. I will be 100% into the market April. Do you think we get a big bull run this year? I think we're going to be rocking and rolling into 2028. That's what I think. I think it's going to be the roaring 20s. And every day that I wake up, I am more and more convinced that I was like a real skeptic of AI. Not that I didn't think that it was real, but I just thought it was really buzzwordy and it was more like a powerful ChatGPT. Not anymore. Like, I think that real jobs are going to be lost, and then companies are going to be real profitable because of it, because they're paying a machine one-time fee. So yeah, I think it's going to be the roaring 20s into 2028, not just with crypto, with stocks, with everything. That's what I think. Buy at 63.19. That's about my average price this time. I have 63.5K. That's my average DCA so far. My average DCA, my average accumulation price last bear market was 22K. What about the potential recession happening in the near term? We just had one in 2022. I think we will have one in 2029. I think it's the big one. Ski, share the 2029 great correction again, please. What do you mean by that? Good AI plays. Flux and Dynex are my favorite. I think Uniswap is solid. How high do you think DISC can go this year? I've been stacking DISC. DISC just made a new all-time high again. DISC has been running. I've been buying DISC, a part of my DCA. I mean, I think we could easily go to 20, 40 million pretty easily. Market cap. I got my my Mac Mini in today, so I'm going to be setting up my OpenClaw AI agent, and I'll be making some content on that. I don't know if you guys want like a how-to video or a review or me telling you what I'm doing, or something in between, but I'll make some content about that, and I'll show you guys what I'm using it for, because it's pretty powerful. Bitcoin taking a poop right now. Good. It's at $66,666.66. You're going to lock the dev wallet would be bullish. I've held for 18 months, and I bought. It's public. It's public. 6 low. That's my wallet. What about Solnic? I'm buying Solnic. Solnic is a part of my DCA. Solnic's deep in accumulation. I think Solnic's ready to go too. Uh, 2029, something about the 7-year cycle. Yeah, 7-year cycle. So to me, the people talk about the 4-year cycle. The one that's way bigger than the 7-year cycle is the 4-year cycle. Or excuse me, the one that's way bigger than the 4-year cycle is the 7-year cycle. There's thousands of years of data about that. Listen, I'm not against any group of people, but it's no secret who's in charge of money, right? It's Dr. Dis is the ticker. You can buy it on Coinbase. Dr. Dis, DR, and then space DIS. It should come up. It's no secret who's in charge of money, right? So if you pay attention to the puppet master as what is the game that they believe, well, they believe in a 7-year cycle. It's called a Shemitah, the sabbatical year, like the Sabbath. Every 7 days is the Sabbath. You have the Shemitah every 7 years. Okay, pre-industrial revolution. Now I'm giving you guys the history on this and why it's important. pre-industrial revolution, it had everything to do with agriculture. Okay. Because really the measurement of wealth was land and cows, cattle, collateral. That's where the term comes from. Collateral comes from cattle. So it had everything to do with agriculture. And every 7 years, they would not till the land. They would not do any harvesting or anything like that. They would free their slaves. They would free their debtors, all of that stuff. It was a purge of sorts, right? And then post-industrial revolution, it has everything to do with the banking sector. And we have 100 years of data in the stock market to prove this. Okay? Now, just some off the top of my head. Every 7 years. Again, it's like a purging. This is why I'm confident that what we're experiencing right now is not going to be nearly as strong as it was in 2022. Because 2022, there was a purging that took place. We are not in the Shemitah year. The Shemitah year starts September of 2028. Okay? Now, 1987 was Black Monday. That was the 7th year. Okay, if you ever seen the Wolf of Wall Street, that's when he gets fired immediately in the beginning of the movie, right? One of the biggest stock market crashes ever. There was also a recession in 1987. Okay, 1994 recession. The bond market collapsed in 94. 7th year Shemitah. 2001, dot-com bubble bust, recession, 9/11 happens. 2008, the great financial crisis, the great recession of 2008. The entire reason that Bitcoin exists today, right now, is because of the 2008 financial crisis. 2015, the Chinese stock market went to zero. 2022, there was a recession, the war in Ukraine, the war in Israel and Iran kicked off in the same Hebrew year. The same Hebrew year, Silicon Valley Bank went to zero. FTX went to zero. Luna went to zero. It was a purging that took place. They purged FTX. They purged Luna. They purged Voyager. They purged Celsius. They all went to zero. That is not going to happen this time. That will be reserved for 2029. (2022) was a bear market for stocks and crypto. That's right. Stocks were down significantly. You think the blood moon energy is still in play? Yes, until the 15th, which is why I originally had it. I don't think we're going to get any events, but that's why I originally put out on the 24th, 1% daily unless we get an event. I'm pushing the chips forward, one DCA 1% daily until the 15th. That to me is when we leave that window. Okay. Unless there's a major event. I think the major events has already happened. There might be some ripple effects between now and then, sure. But I think that every day that goes on, we're getting further and further away from that. By the way, we just experienced the last lunar eclipse until 2029. The timing of that is crazy. Okay? I'm not in charge of the stars or the moon or anything like that. The timing that we're experiencing the last lunar eclipse, blood moon, until 2029, which is the next 7th year, is crazy. Like, you cannot make it up. The timing is impeccable. You cannot script it any better than that. All right. I use Deck Screener a lot. Would be good to get this updated there. Yeah, they're updating it. They're working on it. I haven't heard you talk about group coins, XPR, Metatel, ZBCN, or SHX. Any prejudice or nothing against them? No, I don't have anything against any of them. I just kind of stick in my lane. I don't want to be too diluted, especially right now. So, you know, it might be something that I consider later on if it's your cup of tea. Like, here's what I recommend doing right now. Honestly, here's what I recommend. Pick your blue chips, pick your mid caps, and then pick your moon plays, right? I think that 50%, 25 to 50% of your DCA right now should be Bitcoin. And then for me personally, I'll say it like this. This is what I'm doing. 70% of my DCA right now is Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. And then I have my mid caps, which are like VeChain, Link, Flux. And then I have my moonshots, which are Solnic and Dis. Okay, so if any of those coins are in those categories, once you've got the meat and potatoes taken care of, I'm fine with that. But just make sure you do things kind of in the correct order, getting things set up in the correct order, in my opinion. Says, man, Solnic, you need to make some merch. Solnic logo, Roaring 20s. The Roaring 20s, baby. We're here. We're here. It's here. So that's what I'm DCing. I'm DCing Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, VeChain, Link, Flux, Dynex, and then my 100x plays are Solnic and Dis. And I've been buying them all every single day. And I'm going to continue to buy every single day. Dis is making a new all-time high. This has been running, so. Cool. Says, in the works. Late night ski and scotch. I don't have any scotch right now. I don't know how. I might get some, actually. Not a bad idea. This is about the time I like to have a little nightcap, for sure. I'm just trying to do so. I don't normally live stream on the weekends, but I'm trying to ramp up some things. So, I just think this is the time to be, really about it. So I'm taking a week off. I might live stream throughout the week. I don't know what the Wi-Fi is going to be like. I will be uploading videos. If I have Wi-Fi, I'm going to bring all my stuff to be able to live stream. But I'll be back on Friday. So we'll start back on Saturday and we'll ramp through, do the live streams all the way through the next Saturday. And I'll probably take off that Saturday, the following Saturday. So be back on Friday, live stream on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Take off that Saturday, start Sunday again all the way through until the following Saturday. So that's probably what we're going to do. And we'll probably do 6 days a week once I get back. And we'll be making lots of content about YouTube or Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum. We'll be making content about Dis, Solnic. We've been making educational content, like how to do some of my setups, trading. I might do some free giveaways. Maybe I'll give away Dis. What's the symbol? The symbol is Dis. It's Dr. Dis you can find it on Coinbase if you search Dr. Dis. Someone give him the contract address. DR and then space Dis. So there you go. ETV2. Do Do you think Solnick hits the spring in Wyckoff? I think it's a very good possibility, especially if like everything else is correct, which I think that 90% chance Ethereum has bottomed, 65% chance Bitcoin has bottomed. Is this the spring? I think there's a really good chance. I don't know if you were the one that put that out in the group, but yes, I think so. I mean, I'm buying it every single day, so yeah, I think so. Like, here's what Solnick's done since February. It's just been on a higher low and higher high the whole time. I mean, this looks good. And then, like, so you have your selling climax, secondary test, spring, and then you kind of grew your way out of there. You flip the 200 on the 5 hour, which Bitcoin and Ethereum are fighting with this. Solnick's already above it. Solnick's already above the 200. It's already flipped bullish on the 5 hour. It's the first time it's flipped bullish on the 5 hour. When was the last time it flipped fully bullish? Was over here in October of 2024 before it went crazy. So we haven't flipped bullish on the 5 hour in a minute. And it's fully bullish right now on the 5 hour chart. And what do I mean by that? This is what I teach in my trading when I'm live trading. You have posture and you kind of, I'll teach you guys. So like out of 6, it's out of 6. So if the 200 is on top, like over here, and then the 100, which is the light blue, and then the yellow, and then the red, that is 6 out of 6 bearish posture. Now, these are lagging, so you kind of project what they're going to do. And the more that you pay attention, you'll see. And then when you flip, so how it works is the red crosses the yellow. So now that's 1 out of 6 bullish. The red crosses the light blue. That's 2 out of 6 bullish. The red crosses the dark blue, 3 out of 6 bullish. The yellow crosses the light blue, 4 out of 6 bullish. The yellow crosses the dark blue, 5 out of 6 bullish. The light blue crosses the dark blue, 6 out of 6 bullish. Okay, that works on every chart. Especially especially if you look at the 4 hour. But it's a big deal on the 4 hour, and it's a big deal on yeah, it's definitely a big deal on those. So I didn't mean to do that. Jesus. The 5 hour, 4 hour chart, and also the daily, weekly, those are huge. And that's really what Bitcoin and Ethereum are battling with right now. They're trying to flip it bullish on the 5 hour chart. And a lot of times what happens is when the posture is so down like this, even with the yellow, like, so each one that you go, it's more powerful. Okay. So even like this is Bitcoin now on the 5 hour chart. I'm teaching now for free because I love it. When you see the red, all of them, like the posture is almost like a straight down slope. It takes a couple of tries to clear it. So you can see, you come up, rejection, you come up, rejection, you come up, you finally break above it a little bit, still a rejection, but it's a higher low, and then boom, you come up to the next one. Rejection, rejection, you go below a little bit, and then boom, you come up to the next one. Rejection, rejection, and it's like a little dance that's happening. And all the while, they're going from this straight down slope to this flat slope. Okay? And then you finally break it, you back test it as support, and then boom, impulsive to the 200. And then where do you see rejection? Off of the 200. Potentially a higher low. And it's probably going to take 2 or 3 times. We need to flatten this out. The 20 is about to cross, putting Bitcoin 3 out of 6 bullish. It's probably going to do something like this. Rejection, rejection, back test before it finally goes. And then this is what's going to happen like that. The 200 will look like that. And then by that time, the 20 will cross, the 50 will cross, the 100 will cross, and then it will be fully bullish. Okay. Ignore the timing, but this is at the end of March. So maybe that's pretty good timing actually. But yeah, typically it takes 2 or 3 times before you can actually clear it. Bitcoin and Ethereum are working on that dance right now. Yeah, 1.57. That's right. Why the 5-hour chart though? 2 reasons. 2 reasons. Late night, I know. It's okay. The stream is so late tonight because they were holding an event with like, it's not Girl Scouts. It's kind of like Girl Scouts, but it's like a thing with the church. They're not Girl Scouts, but it's like Girl Scouts, but it's with the church. And it was all entrepreneurs. And listen, I'm not bragging, but just something about me, because I try to be the adult that I needed as a kid that I didn't have. Okay. So one example of that, and I'm not perfect. I make mistakes and I do, I'm a human being just like everybody else, but I try to be for kids and young people, young men and children, especially. I try to be the adult, the human being that I never had as a kid. Okay. And one thing specifically is like, I have always been an entrepreneur. Always. That has just been in me. Since I was a kid, I always did just random things like lemonade, and I had like a detailing business, and like I've just always been that way. I've never like fit in to like climbing the corporate ladder. That's just not who I am. And I have nothing against it, but it's just not who I am. And it's like, that's why I didn't fit in the army, to be honest, is because I'm just not that way. Like I'm an entrepreneur through and through. And when I was a kid, like there was no one around me that was an entrepreneur. Like I didn't even know that was an option. I just thought you had to be like a fireman or I thought you had to join the army or the military or something. Like I didn't even know that was an option. And so I try to be that adult for kids who maybe I see that they have that in them. So the point is, anytime I see a kid who's interested in entrepreneurship, I will go out of my way to support them. If I see like a 10-year-old who has a lemonade stand, I don't care if their lemonade is 50 cents. I'm giving them $20. That's just what I do. Because I try to be the kid, or I try to be the person that I never had as a kid. And so they had this thing today, and it was like all the girls, and I forget what the group is called. It's not Girl Scouts, but it's like that, but it's through the church. And it was like an entrepreneurial fair, and they're like all these little girls, they had all these different things that they were selling, and it was awesome. And I went to every single one, and I bought something from every single one of them. And I gave them a little bit of wisdom of like, hey, you don't have to do this, but if you think that this is what you like pursue that. Don't let people tell you that you can't do something. Anyways, so that's why it's late. What software do you trade on? TradingView. All right. Let's go back to the question there. Someone asked me something. Someone asked me something that I was answering. Oh, why do I use the 5-hour chart instead of the 4-hour chart? For 2 reasons. 2 reasons I use the 5-hour chart instead of the 4-hour chart. Number 1, I am a bit woo-woo. And I pay attention to certain numbers. I sold all my XRP at $3.33. Okay. Just certain numbers I just pay attention to. 5 is a big number. So like numerology, right? So 5 is a big number, more so than 4. So that's part of it, but it's not only it. The main reason, though, is I'm a contrarian by nature, and I'm definitely a contrarian by my investment thesis. I don't want to have the same lens. I don't want to have the same filter as everyone else. I just don't. So if everyone's looking on the 4-hour chart, everyone's going to have the same view of what's happening. I don't want to have the same view as everyone else. I want to view things differently. Sometimes that's right, sometimes it's wrong, but at least you know when you get the words that you hear coming out of my mouth are coming from me. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I will live and die by that sword, and I'm okay with it, but you will know I'm not just going to be regurgitating whatever the rhetoric is. That's not what I do. And I'll never do that. So why do I use the 5-hour chart? Those are the main 2 reasons. There's other things, but those are the main 2 reasons. The big thing is like, I don't want to have the same view as everybody else. All right. Ski, what are your true thoughts on quant long term? I'm talking like 10 years. So much room to grow. You said it in your question. I agree. Like the tokenomics are amazing on quant. There's very little supply. I think that there is so much room to grow in 10 years. And I think that you talking about 10 years, that's the correct mindset. Not the next 10 weeks, not the next 10 months. What's the price of the next 10 months, Ski? 10 years. Because if you're playing the game for a decade, I guarantee your odds of winning go up exponentially to a laughable degree. I don't have 10 years, Ski. Unless you're 89 years old, yes, you do. Unless you're 97, yes, you do. He says, hell you doing on so late? Go back 5 minutes. There was a kids' entrepreneurial banquet that I went and supported. Says, bro, give up. You've been wrong countless times. Let's count them. Count them. I can think of 2 times I was wrong. I can think of 100 times I was right. I don't know, bro. I know that I'm paying capital gains taxes in 2025. That's what I know for sure. And you know how you do that? You profit. You don't pay capital gains taxes if you lose money. In fact, you can offset business expenses when you lose money. I did not lose money in 2025. 2025 did not do what I expected it to do. But I'm paying an exorbitant amount of capital gains taxes. That's what I know. The only time I was wrong, I admitted I was wrong and I shaved my beard. What do you want from me? Move on. Give up. What a hoe thing to say. Just give it up already, man. You were wrong that one time. And you were accountable. Give it up, man. Just move on, bro. You don't like money? You don't like winning? My channel ain't for you. You don't like being patient? My channel ain't for you. You don't like wisdom? My channel ain't for you. You don't like the clear pill? The medicine with no sugar? My channel ain't for you. You don't like people who keep all their videos up, right, wrong, or indifferent, and are accountable when they're wrong? Then my channel ain't for you. Can you look at the total 3? Yes. Give it up, man. You were wrong that one time and shaved your beard to atone for it. Admitted you were wrong and kept your videos. You didn't delete them like some people in the space. By the way, what a great business model. Just call the top every single week and delete the videos that you were wrong about. That's a fantastic business model. If I did not have morals and ethics, I would do the same thing. Analysts on Dr. Disrespect. Dr. Disrespect is ripping into price discovery, making new all-time highs every single day. I'm buying every single day. That's the analyst. It's literally ripping into price discovery. It made a new all-time high yesterday. It made a new all-time high today. It's in full-on breakout mode. It's on full-on rip mode. All right. Total 3 looks really good, actually. Same dance, though. Rejection off of the 200. But it's been holding this trend line really good. Which this has been at play for a while. Let me zoom out here on the daily. Yeah, from the top of 2017, bottomed out there during the Japan rate cut fiasco, and touched it again during April, finding it as support again. Clearly on an uptrend right now. Lots of volume showed up. I think the total 3 looks pretty good. On the 5 hour, we're doing the same dance as Bitcoin, though. Like, it's rejection off the 200. These are flattening out. The 200 still needs to flatten out a little bit. I imagine it's going to take 2 or 3 tries to get above this because it's pretty sloped down. So typically, you're going to have like a move up, rejection, higher low, maybe another rejection, back test, something like that. That's oversimplification, probably what's going to happen, because by that time you'll see the 200 do one of these numbers, and that's what you need. You need it to flatten out and start sloping up to really get you in bullish posture. Let's see about MACD losing momentum on the bearishness. It's getting closer and closer to flipping bullish on the 5-day. The 3-day has flipped bullish. And the 5-day is about to flip bullish. So let's see, the last time it really flipped bullish was April. After the April crash in June. That's when the total 3 flipped bullish. The time before that was April. The time before that was September of 2024 before it rocketed up. The time before that was the bottom, September of 2023. Okay, so we're about to flip bullish. This will probably take a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and then this is going to flip bullish. That's significant. Do you think alt season will happen this year? I think altcoins will outperform Bitcoin this year. If you want to call that alt season, yes. And I think that Bitcoin gets north of 100K this year. Probably an all-time high this year. That's what I think. Tail. This chart is just weird to me. Like, I don't love this chart. I don't hate this chart. It's just pretty blah to me, to be honest. Like, I don't love charts that don't have a lot of data and like a clear accumulation or a clear distribution. And, you know, I could just say transparently and honestly, like, there's nothing about this chart that makes me hate this chart. There's nothing about this chart that makes me love this chart. It doesn't really have enough data for me to project what it's going to do. It never went into a parabolic rise. It never went into accumulation. The one thing I would say is, like, you had your 10-10 wick here and you rolled down and filled that out. So if you hold that, then I think that that's bullish. But as far as projecting where it's going to go, I mean, you could pull a Fibonacci over here, I guess. If you want to say that that's the bottom, retrace to 480, parabolic 16. Going lower at 58, 60K. I hope so. I have limit orders at 58K. Should we start DCAing? I have been DCAing since the February 24th. My average price on Bitcoin right now is 63.5. My average price on XRP is like $1.25. Rebuy. The last bear market I bought at 22K and I bought at 30 cents, 33 cents average price for XRP. That was over multiple times actually. But I'm buying 3% daily. That's what I'm doing. I plan to be 100% allocated into the market by April 1st. You do whatever you want. That's what I'm doing. I have limit orders for Bitcoin at 58K and 62K. I hope they get filled. I hope they get filled. I don't know that they will, but I hope that they do. All right, guys. That's my cue. Reminder. Here's the month of February. If you guys want lifetime access to that, we had 19 winning days in February. We profited $46,000. Whoopsies. That's my brother Peanut. I thought I had more.
Bitcoin has crashed down to $68,000 yesterday. We drew this fractal exactly how we thought this would behave from the 100 moving average. And we talked.
Sorry about that. That was crazy. I don't like hearing my own voice. That's kind of weird. March, we're 6 for 6. I was looking for my March. I know we're up 11 grand this week. We had 6 winning days, 0 losing days. If you guys want lifetime access to that, you can hit me in the DMs. If you want to book coaching, one-on-one coaching, we can do a portfolio review, entry strategy, exit strategy. You can book me on my Calendly, which is in the top corner up there on TikTok. But that is going to be, whoopsies. That's going to be it for this time. I'm going to work on this. I just bought a Mac Mini, so I'm going to work on this AI agent. I'll probably make some content on that, show you guys. I don't know if I'm going to do a how-to. If you want, I can, but it'll probably be just like what I'm doing with it. So thank you for the $4.99 donation, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
All right, I'll look at ZBN real quick. ZBCN. Real quick, at the buzzer. Distribution markdown. I don't mind this chart. Market cap retraced to 404 million. Parabolic is 1.17 billion. There you go. Appreciate your support, brother. That's going to be it for this time. I'll be live tomorrow, and then I'm taking off. I won't be live on Monday. I won't be live on Friday. Maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll see how the Wi-Fi looks. But it'll be full steam ahead next, the following week after that, the following Saturday. So 1 week from now, full steam ahead. I am DCAing 3% daily of my available capital. I plan to be 100% into the market. You do whatever you want. This is what I'm doing. 100% into the market by April 1st. I am not waiting for the scheduled October bottom, because everyone who are waiting for the scheduled 12K, They never accumulated. That's what happened. IRL. And that's not going to be me. I'm buying Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum. That's 70%. I'm buying Link, VeChain, Flux. And I'm buying Solnic and DIS as my 100x plays. You could type Dr. DIS, or you can DM me on Coinbase. It's DR space DIS. It'll come up. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this time. Peace, love, prosperity, God first, God bless.